that, our first guest is facing the legal fight of her life, all to be able to have a child with the man she loved.
Yes, shortly before Jade Payne's husband, Daniel, tragically passed away from cancer in 2019, they had begun the legal process to have his sperm frozen so she could have a baby.
However, due to a small error in the paperwork, Jade has now been told that she isn't allowed to undergo this process, leaving her devastated. And she joins us now, and thank you for coming in today. Jade, I'm sorry it's under these circumstances.
Yes.
I'm sorry for your loss. We were talking about Daniel just before we went on air. Tell us about him. What sort of a guy was he, and how did you first meet him?
I met him through friends in a pub where I live in Brackley, and at first I just thought he was a bit of a weirdo. And I mean that in the nicest possible way, but he was just so full of life, and he just lived every day as it came. You know, he was diagnosed at such a young age with testicular cancer and then have an incurable brain tumour, but he didn't let his illnesses affect him.
When you saw him, when you met him in that pub, he'd already got the diagnosis.
Yes.
And so he knew he was very poorly.
Yeah.
But lived life to the full. The carpe diem, seize the day type of a guy.
Definitely. He just didn't take life seriously, and he was just... He would prance around to Chaz and Dave, to hardcore, to 80s, to... And he just loved life.
Considering what he was going through.
He didn't let it bother him, even with testicular cancer coming back or his brain tumour changing grade. And even when he was classed as terminal, he still tried to do everything and still have banter and laughter and make jokes with whoever crossed paths with him.
So talk to us a little bit about, so when, as you said, when you met that he was already diagnosed with an incurable brain tumour, and then testicular cancer comes into play, which I can imagine just rocked both of your worlds completely again. At what point did you decide to go down the route of IVF and look into freezing his sperm?
Daniel had to freeze his sperm in 2010 when it was confirmed he had testicular cancer for the second time. In 2006, he had his right testicle removed, and then he had to have his left one removed. So in order for him to have a child, he froze his sperm, and it was in the 2010 that he said that he put my name down as the named person on the consent forms.
Yeah. Now, this is the issue. This is the problem, because he thought he'd done it. You thought he'd done it. This is one small piece of administration.
Yes.
And so, at what point did you find out that, in fact, he got that form wrong and he hadn't put your name on it?
Around the 29th of December 2019, a week after he passed away, I found the consent form.
And when you lost him, you say one of the thankful things is that you were with him. He went very peacefully.
At home.
It sounds awful, and I don't like saying it because it's not a nice thing watching someone you love pass away. But it was such a beautiful, peaceful moment. He was finally at rest, and it was just the silent last breath.
Yeah.
It was just beautiful, as well as obviously heartbreaking.
And losing that, the man that you love, the one thing that you think you might be able to have is a small part of him, which would be a baby, something to take forward, something to carry him on. So, 29th of December, because he passes away just before Christmas, and so you're with your parents, and then after that you go back home and you start to sort everything out, sort these things out. And is that when you find the form? Yeah,
I didn't even realise he had the consent form. And with all the hospital letters that he had encountered over the 13 years, I didn't even know he had it. So when I came across it and looked through it and I didn't see my name, that's when I emailed the fertility clinic just to confirm it, because we'd actually gone to the hospital, like the John Magdalene Hospital, to sign a document to get our NHS funding in the July. So I was a bit confused, and it was in the new year of 2020 that it was confirmed that I wasn't on the consent form at all.
And I mean, obviously, like we said, it's a matter of paperwork, and obviously I understand how it works with consent, and we all appreciate that. But in this instance, it literally is a matter... It's a human error. It's a human error. The paperwork didn't perhaps get completed in the right way. So what now happens? How does it look right now?
I've got to go to High Court, sorry, to obtain a document to make it lawful for me to have my husband's sperm, which I understand why I've got to go through this process. It's just the logistics side of it. It's not, I've just decided that's it. We started that journey 5 months before he passed away.
Yeah.
And you have absolutely nothing but good words for the clinic. You're amazed by their support. I mean, all they're doing is following the law.
I am blown away with the amount of support that they've offered me since they told me in September 2020, well, last year. Yeah. They've been absolutely phenomenal. If I've got a question, they're at the end of an email, they're at the end of the phone. They're offering me counselling, and I can pick and choose when I need to use it. I just cannot fault the support that they've given me, especially with me going so public.
Why did you go public?
Because I'm not the first person to go through this, and I'm not the last. And after I got told, I remember sitting on the phone to my mum and telling her what had been said. And I was like, this is going to keep continuing to happen. Something's got to change. And, you know, it's a simple error. It could be, it doesn't matter whose end it is. I just want to try and stop this from happening to people that may be going through it now or in the future. It's just double check the paperwork. But I also believe that when you sign the consent forms, I think that they should be brought out in every appointment that you attend, whether it is at the fertility clinic or anything else, so that the details can be updated. Because when me and Daniel got married in June 2018, we didn't even think to get the new documents and put my married name on there. It was still in my maiden name. And it's not until since I found out in the last few months what I've got to do. And
so it doesn't necessarily need a change in the law here. What it needs is a change in the procedure. That to make it everyone very much aware that this can happen. And so therefore, as you go through the procedure, right, you've just got married, so then therefore don't forget to do this, don't forget to do that. It's getting the procedure right.
Yes. And so we should have done that, and I know we should have done, but we were in our own little bubble. We just got married.
And life gets in the way. It does, it does.
Well, after we got married, we welcomed our pug into our life, and then we started the IVF journey.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Daniel lost his sister in the May 2019.
Oh,
and then he was ill throughout most of 2019. So a lot of it was just, I was silently watching him and observing him, knowing that something wasn't right. And then to be given the bombshell in the September that he was terminal,
of course.
it was, we knew this was going to happen. It's just happened too soon for us.
Yeah, well, the last thing you think about in that situation is paperwork, isn't it? How have his family been? Have they been supportive?
They've been amazing, absolutely amazing. His father-in-law is always at the end of the phone. We speak frequently, and with me going so public, I did speak to him about it and say, do you have any objections? Because I am talking about your son, I'm talking about our life. It does affect you as well. And he's just been 100% supportive.
What is one thing that we've got to point out here with IVF, because we've talked a lot about it on this show, on this sofa, is the fact that it's not guaranteed, and they think there's maybe enough of his frozen sperm for one go, perhaps. So it's even then, it's not guaranteed.
I've got a 33% chance of me being successful, but I've accepted that if it is only one chance, I've already accepted that it may still not happen for me, and I still may not get Daniel's child.
But you want your chance.
I want the chance.
And you deserve your chance.
Yes.
And that's what's important about this.
And it's vital that you pointed out this loophole, this issue. Good luck. But are you going to go to court? You're going to go to the High Court?
Yes, I am.
Would you know when that's going to be?
No, I'm still waiting to find the right person to represent me, but I'm hopeful that it'll be as soon as I can.
Well, good luck, Jade.
Well, wishing you all the best.
Thank you for pointing it out.
Honestly, yeah.
Really good work. Thank you.
Thank you.